How's everyone doing tonight? Hopefully you're all doing well. Okay, let me get this set up on this special Halloween episode. Okay. We'll get it. I like to jump on here a few minutes early to share the videos onto my other pages here. So, what are we going to share it to? Share it to the Harrisville, well, Chiller Chat. I'll share it to the Harrisville Haunted House. And we'll share it to Jack Shadow. And we'll share it to the ChillerNight Facebook group page. Alright folks, almost ready. And now I'll share it to my own personal page. Brian Hogue. There we go. All right, looking good, looking good. Go back here. And then I will turn on the chat for restream. I'm not going to keep this on the entire show, I'll tell you that. Because I'm going to fix my, fix the old eye hole here. Come on. Is that better? All right. Good evening. Diana says, hello everyone. Hey Diana, thanks for joining us. I gotta fix this eye hole. I'm not used to being the good guy. Not used to being the hero. Used to being Jack Shadow. Alright. Sand says, well, where's Silver? Oh, he's out in the back there. He's eating leftover pumpkins. Alright. Now, where are we at here? We are about 30 seconds away from starting the show. Mr. Tracy, don't use too many silver bullets. Ah, tonight is a perfect night for silver bullets for all those werewolves out there. Brian says, hello, Kimasabi. Hey, Brian. Tom says, laser. Lisa Ann said, silver like sugar cubes. Wow, he's getting pumpkins tonight. We might give him some sugar. Well, give him some candy bars. I don't know. If he wants some sugar. All right. Got a few seconds left. And we'll get this going. And here we go. All right, hey everybody, this is Brian Hogue. Welcome to the ChillerNight pre-show tonight. October 30th. It is basically our Halloween episode. We have a brand new Chiller Night theater episode coming up tonight at 9 p.m. on Stream TV, and that will be a Halloween episode. So I hope you'll enjoy it, and I'll be putting the schedule up here pretty quick. I will not be keeping this on because I don't have my glasses on. I can't fit them over the mask. I just kind of wanted to do this because I was handing out, Ava and I were handing out candy for the trick-or-treaters earlier, and we were in costume. Ava was a witch, I was the Lone Ranger, and many sweets were given out today. Let's see, Ghoul World Order said Silver's eating grass gnat. Okay, he might be. Let's see, Tom says Ghoul. Tom says Silver is on way to the glue factory. Oh, Tom! John says, who is that masked man? Don't ask me. I'm here for the Chiller Night pre-show. This is Krozak the Grand, and here's our favorite Kimosabi, Brian Hogue. Well, thank you, Krozak the Grand. Appreciate that. Glam says, happy Halloween Eve, everybody. Great seeing y'all. Yes, it is. Happy Halloween Eve indeed. Got the jack-o'-lanterns lit out in the front porch. Ho, ho, ho. One here. Very festive. Very nice night. Good weather for trick-or-treaters. I don't know. How many of you had trick-or-treaters in your area? We had that tonight. I know Brad mentioned in Messenger that theirs is actually tomorrow on Halloween. So let's see. Am I missing anything? Actually, I'm going to have to take this off now because I think I got my point across. I'll leave it on for a few more minutes. It's just hard for me to read. Let's see. Don't get all dressed up for nothing, by golly. Glam says, happy Halloween. Oh, I read that one. Lee Sane says, Halloween is always pizza night for us. Oh, that sounds good. Sounds real good. You get a Vicelli's pizza if you get a chance, if you live close to one. Ghoul World Order said, decades ago I was playing the PC game You Don't Know Jack, and one of the questions was, what does Kemosabe really mean? The answer was soggy bush, LOL. Well, according to the TV series, the word Kemosabe was what Tonto named the Lone Ranger, which means trusted friend or trusted scout. It's actually not. That word is actually. It doesn't really like literally mean that, but for the TV show it does. Glam says, Tom, Laser, Diana, just like Tonto. The name Tonto is a word which translates into like crazy man or wild man, or why would they have picked Tonto? So in some countries, there's another country that actually renames Tonto as Toro, I think, something like that. I'm trying to remember all this stuff. All right, Mr. Tracy says, cool. Ghoul World Order says, we just uploaded our season 6 finale tonight, Dawn of the Die de los Muertos. Okay, now it's really getting hard for me to read. Glam says, Terrence, Ghoul World Order, Mr. Tracy. Okay, exchanging our salutations here. David says, good evening. Champagne popped and poured. Cheers. Mr. Tracy says, no. Bonehead says, hello to all the Chiller Night crew, Brian, Ava, and the Lone Ranger. Well, hello to everybody. Actually, I'm going to have, because I can't see the screen. I can't see that. I just wanted to have this on at first to celebrate my celebration of Halloween, my acknowledgement of Halloween. So let me throw this off here to the side. All right. Oh, there we go. Now I can see again. That's kind of good. All right. Words, and they mean sense to me. Okay. Mr. Tracy says Ghost Rider. Oh, he's a cool one. Vicky says, hi, Brian. Hi, Ava. Hey, Vicky. Thanks for joining us tonight. Joseph says, Happy Devil's Night. Glam says, Bonehead. Let's see. Let me get down. Diana says, Arch reading is tomorrow night. That's kind of neat, actually, on Halloween night. John says, it's the most wonderful time of the year. That it is. I can't dispute that. John says, hey, everybody, happy Halloween. All right, folks, it is, this is fun. This is a fun night out of the year. Now, let me put the schedule up. I mentioned earlier about a Halloween episode, a brand new episode tonight. And here we go. At 9 o'clock, brand new Halloween episode, Jack Shadow features The Brainiac. And at 11 p.m., Chiller Chat. My guest is Brian Seach. This is a part one of a two-part episode. And that was just from earlier this week. Trying to have a bit of a Halloween theme to it. But that was just taped on the 26th, as you can see right there. 11:30, Chiller Night Theater. The movie is City of the Dead. 1:30 a.m., Chiller Chat. My guest is EVPS, the Eerie Voices Paranormal Society. And that was part two of that complete episode. And 2 a.m., Chiller Night Theater. The movie is Terror Creatures from the Grave. So there you have it. Now, if you're new on here and you're wondering where you can see this, the Chiller Night television program, you can just go to streammedia.tv, and it is right there on that site. Now, go up to the top and click Watch Live, and there you'll see the programming streamed live. So there you have it. Lisa Ann says, Devil's Night, and we have Diablo Wins. Diablo Wins? Okay. I'm not sure what do you... Devil Wins? Devil Knights? Devil Wins? Okay. Bonehead says, hello, Miss Glam, thanks. Tom, Diane, Mr. T. Williams, and all the happy Halloween gang. All right. John says, fun fact, did you know that it was on this night before Halloween? You're right. That CBS Radio played in 1938 Orson Welles and Mercury Player's adaptation of H.G. Wells' The War of the Worlds on live radio. Yeah, caused a bit of a fiasco, didn't it? So from everything I know of that, Ghoul World Order says it means Dawn of the Day of the Dead. Okay, the Mexican holiday on November 1st and 2nd. Yeah, I was kind of picking that up, but I honestly, I could not, I wasn't sure if I was reading it right. I wasn't sure I was seeing it right. So, I had to put on the old spectacles. All right. Mr. Tracy said, need 14-point font. I probably do, yeah. Let's see. Roger says, good evening. Good evening, Roger. Thanks for joining us. Let's see. John says, yay, Horror Hotel. Yeah, it's a good one. Yep, Horror Hotel. Or of course, City of the Dead. Yeah, it is a good one. Bonehead says, Brian, I can't help it, but when you took the hat and mask off for a minute, you all look like Howdy Doody. That's... I'm trying to be a hero. I'm trying to be the Lone Ranger of Howdy Doody. Can you believe this guy? I'm sorry, but my brain and eyes just not. That's funny. Brad says, it's the Chiller Night pre-show. Brian Hogue, starring Brian Hogue. Now here's Brian. Nice costume, Brian. Hi-ho, silver, away. Well, thank you, Brad. That's funny. All right, well. Howdy doody. John says, holy Buffalo Bob, Batman. Oh, that's funny. Hey, we had I mentioned a little bit ago, we had trick or treat here in Harrisville, or my other home, other than the Dark Realm, the Dark Domain, and we had a lot of kids out today. I'm so happy that the weather held out for them, because last year was miserable. I think the year before was miserable, if I remember right. Ava and I usually like to dress up. So far, I've been Jack Shadow a couple times, big shock, and I've been the Riddler. So I'm always playing the villain, Riddler or Jack Shadow. So this year I was the Lone Ranger. But that was a lot of fun. A lot of kids out. I was very happy to see that. I love seeing the kids out. It's a lot different than when I was a kid. When I was a kid, it was later. Um, from probably 6 to 8. I'll be honest, I don't really remember there ever really being a cap on it. I just remember going out and trick or treating until we're done. It probably did end at 8 o'clock. But I just don't recall that specifically. I just kind of went home when everybody else did, and smashed some pumpkins along the way, and just called it a night. So, but yeah, I don't know. It was pretty fun, and no, it kind of makes sense here in the area that we live in, at least, to have it, earlier in the day. It's a major roadway. So I think for safety's sake, it's good to see that you want it, at least well lit, so you don't lose anybody. Let's see. Bunny says, "Oh, I'm sorry. I hope you won't ban me from comments after that. I'm really sorry." Bonehead. That was good. Joe Expo says, "Happy Halloween, everyone. Happy Halloween, Joe Expo." Brad says, some episodes of The Lone Ranger are in public domain. You know what? I don't know if they are or not. I tend to think that. If you're saying that, I have. They're on YouTube. They're all on YouTube. So, and I know how touchy YouTube is about putting content on there. Or at least making the claim that it's you're having a copyright violation and stuff like that. So they must be in public domain. The old radio shows. If you're up to that, it doesn't even have to be a Lone Ranger. It could be old horror of the Shadow. We were talking about this before on the pre-show. You can find all kinds of old radio shows on YouTube as well. So it is pretty cool. A lot of neat stuff on there. David says, we attended the mini Gross Fest at Willow Station Bar in Castle Shannon this afternoon, and it was a buzzing get-together for independent filmmakers. Nice to meet with talented artists. Yeah, that's and I was invited to that, and I hope you guys had a great time, and I would have gone down had it not been for the distance and the fact that we were doing trick or treat this year. And normally I got to do the trick or treat and then rush to the haunted house. But this year, I don't have that situation. So, but I just didn't have, I wouldn't have had enough time to get down there and get back. But I'm glad you had a good time. And David and Diana, they submitted a video that is included in tonight's Halloween episode, The Brainiac, which you'll see a little bit later on tonight if you stick around after the pre-show. But I am going to play that. I'm going to play that here. So, and David and Diana, thank you for doing this. And it looked like it took you some time to get everything together and stuff. So you put some, I can tell you put some effort into this. So thank you very much for taking the time to do that and for submitting the video for the Halloween episode. But I did want to share it right here as well. So here we go. Their Halloween video.
She's alive! Happy Halloween!
There you have it. There you have it. It's alive. It's alive indeed. So, yeah, thank you for doing that. Like I said, if anybody wanted to submit videos, I was going to include those in with the Halloween episode, and there it is. So that will be on later tonight in between the breaks of the movie. Lisa Ann says, does anyone remember what you did last Halloween? Last Halloween, on the actual day. You know, I wonder what day that was. What day was that? I just know last year, oh, we didn't have the haunted house. We shut down the haunted house that last week because a couple of the actors got COVID from their workplaces, and we didn't want to take any chances. So I know that we shut down a week early the last weekend. Other than that, I probably just went. What day was that on? Does anybody remember what day that was? I don't know. Was it on a Sunday? If it was on a Sunday, no, because this year it's on a Sunday. I don't know. Probably just watched horror movies. I'm guessing. Um, Brad says some episodes of the Munsters are in public domain. That's cool. Raymond says glam, bonehead. Lisa Ann says I attended a Dark Shadows Zoom party with some of the still living Dark Shadows originals. All bummed about COVID. Oh, that's cool. That you got to be on there with the still living Dark Shadows original cast. I take it with the cast. That's pretty neat. Glam says, when I worked at a shopping mall, they had trick-or-treating one night so kids could have fun indoors and score a ton of candy. It was a fun night to be at work. That reminds me, when we had our haunted house, it was called we had a haunted house called the Dark Domain, and for years it was in a couple different locations, but we had a run for some years at our Cranberry Mall, and there's one night where they did they had trick or treat inside the mall for all the kids, and that was kind of cool. We had we were there. We were open that night, you know, where the kids could come through and kind of had if it wasn't on a regular night like a Friday or Saturday, we had like a kids night, you know, where the kids could come through and tour it with the lights on, no scares. So that was pretty cool. Mr. Tracy said, spooky scares skeletons. Spooky scares skeletons. Yeah, say that 3 times back. Raymond says, I gave out candy to 3 visitors. I had a lot of candy to eat. I bet. Bonin says, thanks, Raymond. I got mentioned in the same sentence as our sweetheart of screams, Miss Glam, thanks. She's a sexy spider. I'm an ugly skull. Well, and this time of year, you can be anything you want to be. So you could be a sexy skull there, Bonehead, if you chose to be. I don't know, just trying to help. Brad says, I'm a brainiac. Brainiac, that's for sure, LOL. Okay. I'm a brainiac. Okay, is you talking about Maniac? I'm just now hearing that in my head when I'm reading it. Cassandra says, I watched that too. Had a fire and a few drinks with the family. Replying to Lisa Ann about the Zoom party with Still Living Dark Shadows originals. Okay. Raymond says, a beautiful skull. And Bonehead says, bonehead truckers. Okay. Mr. Tracy says, Spider-Man. Alright, so there you have it, folks. We have a schedule on tonight. We've got a jack-o'-lantern. Can't tell if you can see that that's lit or not, but it is. Got a little flame in there. We didn't have it lit for the chiller chat. For some reason, it just wasn't looking right. But this one is lit. Let's see. Brad says, "Did you hear that they're changing the Facebook name to Meta starting in December, like the Metaverse?" I did hear that. I wasn't sure if that's why. I wasn't. Well, I don't. What is Metaverse? What do they mean by that? I don't even know what that is. But I did hear that they were changing the name. I hope that's all they changed, because I've got this all figured out. You know, at least for now. So I don't know. I don't know why they're doing that. But does anybody know why they're doing that? Is Facebook just losing its flavor, I guess. I don't know. Here's the thing, like if they have something that's working, why fix it? I just don't believe in doing that. Like MySpace. Remember MySpace? Vaguely, and that's why. Because MySpace had a good thing. And then they just kept changing it, constantly changing it until it became really unrecognizable by even the people who've been on there for a while. It's like I didn't even know how to use it anymore. I was like, oh. Then somebody told me about this thing called Facebook in 2009 is when I jumped on that. I was like, everyone's like, you got to get on Facebook. I'm like, I don't want to change everything, go jump over to another social media platform. But I did, because this is pretty much what I do is put my stuff on there for my shows. And I really don't get put too much of my personal stuff on there, but to each his own. I mean, if you want to, that's what it's there for. I just happened to, I was doing Dark Horse Championship Wrestling. I was doing the haunted houses. I was doing self-defense classes. I was doing, more than probably what I should, and still try to keep a sane life. But, and now they're changing the name. Again, I just hope that's all they changed for. I'm sure it won't be. I'm sure we'll see many changes coming with that. Gold World Order says, I met a lot of people when it was called Facebook. LOL. Oh, no, that's the drum roll. Here's what I want. All right. You met a lot of people. Okay. Let's see. Brad says, Facebook is trying to be more like Twitter. I don't know why, though. Twitter's Twitter. Facebook's... And honestly, like, I prefer Facebook. I don't know. I never really got, I'm on Twitter, but I don't really like it all that much. Especially these days. It's just like, it just hurts my brain getting on there anymore. But, let's see. Bonehead says, good one, Ghoul World Order. Ghoul World Order. We're now on Space Hay. Oh, that's right. You mentioned that last week. I don't really know what he says. It's exactly like MySpace used to be. Okay, we mentioned MySpace. I can send you some videos on what happened to MySpace. Okay. I'm guessing what happened to MySpace was, but go ahead and send those. I'll check them out if I get a chance. But I just know for me, I enjoyed MySpace. I had something there it was my personal account, but I think I also had something there for Jack Shadow or the haunted house at the time, House of Terror. I think it was my first. Well, I know it was my first one, but I don't remember. I think I had like 2 accounts. Maybe I didn't. I don't really remember, to be honest with you. But I just remember it was changing so much, and I don't know. I didn't like it anymore because I didn't know how to. I wasn't familiar with it anymore. It lost its familiarity to me. Brian says they're putting distance between themselves and the Facebook congressional whistleblower. Oh, is that what it is? Is that really what it is? That's okay. I guess that would make sense timing wise. Like, why now? Is that what you've heard? I didn't know that. Brad says all I know, they're both not broken. Right. Yeah, and they're both they both have tons of people on them. So I don't know why make a dramatic change like that. Mr. Tracy says, two till 2 train to come, and I don't know what you're doing there, but okay. But have at it. Lisa says, I'm guessing another platform isn't too far away. Yeah, it could be. It could be. I don't. So when you've invested years and you've got so many things compiled onto one social media platform, like pictures and comments and friends, and then to switch over. And that's what I was dealing with MySpace. hadn't been on MySpace a lot. I think I got on there in 2006. 2006. I remember this because I got on there because that's when I first opened up my haunted house, and that's why I got on there, was to just put information out there about my haunted house, the House of Terror, and then in 2009 I switched to Facebook. So, but even those 3 years probably wasn't even complete 3 years. Um, I didn't want to switch all that stuff over, but you did. You start over, and which I have to do with my ChillerNight Theater website, by the way. Speaking of starting over, if you go there, there's nothing there. I don't think there's anything there at all. At least I don't see anything there because I got to rebuild it. I renewed it now, but I got a better deal. Maybe it's what Stream TV is doing with the Roku channel thing, but I have to redo it. Now I just have to find time to sit there and actually start from scratch and redo it. It's supposed to be a better website with more capabilities. So I'm just now thinking maybe that's, I guess that's what Stream TV was supposed to do with the Roku channel. So that stuff does happen. Glam says, there's no such thing as an ugly skull. I'm sure you're quite a dapper cranium, bonehead. Oh, nice compliment there. Cranial compliment. John says, who has seen the teaser trailer for Buzz Lightyear? I was surprised that he has hair. I have not seen that. That's true. I've never seen, you always just see his face. I've not seen it. Diana says, I looked into Space Hay and I will join it. Sounds awesome. I don't know what the difference would be. What's are you able to tell at least like one main difference? I'm kind of curious. I'll have to look into that. I was so busy this week, with a new live chiller chat with Brian Seach that we did Tuesday night. I had that, and at the same time I was doing, and I just barely got the ChillerNight Theater episode, the new one for tonight, done in time. I mean, it was pushing it. I just got it all sent out yesterday, and that's later than I'd like to, but sometimes that happens. I was just pushing and pushing, trying to get this episode done. So, sometimes it's a little. I have everything planned out. What day I need to do this, this, and this. Okay, and then that gives me enough time to edit the. The only problem is if one thing happens to throw your schedule off for those days, that could be it. You might miss that deadline and not get that episode in. So if it was just a Saturday, a normal Saturday night, I guess, hey folks, sorry, but we will see it next Saturday. And I think that has happened in the past, but tonight is the Halloween episode. You can't really do it next week in November and it feel like Halloween. So had to get it done. Let's see. Whole World Order. Looking forward to seeing you there, Diana. Oh, and Space Hay. Let's see. Brian says she had unfavorable things to say about the Facebook inner workings. I did see that, yeah, but I didn't see it was anything that was so startling, from a business point of view. Like I mean, some of the stuff, like I don't agree with a lot that they're doing, quite bluntly. Big tech, I try to. I'm guarded on what I say because of the entertainment theme of this show. So I keep it at that. But I'll just say, okay, I wasn't aware that that's why they were changing that. Interesting. Raymond says, Facebook is trying to change its image since the congressional hearings concerning Facebook. Yeah, that's what that's something. what would people just stop using Facebook? Would they get millions of people? Something had to have happened though to make that much of an impact of where they said, or was it just a panic? Did they really see a decline in something? In users, or what made them uh, decide to do this? I don't know. I mean, I'm seeing your responses and your answers there, but was it really that bad? And I'm only saying that because of this. In the world that we're living in right now, with news shoved at you at such a rapid pace, there are real things happening that the media doesn't cover, so you don't even hear about them unless you're on the right alternative medias. Um, and then even then, you have to, obviously, you got to use your own discretion and filter out what's real, what's not real. But you got to do that with the mainstream media too, don't you? I mean, that's a fact. That's a fact. You have to. So I don't know. It's such a really weird time that we're living in. I guess it's nice to where at least an hour out of the week I can sit there and try to, because I get worked up just as I'm sure you do. And believe me, it's not for lack of things to say. It's just that I choose this hour in my programming to just keep it big, dumb fun, because I'm sure you guys are bombarded with enough throughout the week, as am I. We got enough things going on in real life, a lot of craziness. It's hard to keep a good spirit, about things, and keep a good morale. And if you can do that these days, you're doing better than most, because and if we can all just kind of meet here and I guess cyber connect for an hour, then at least we're doing something for the positive. Um, Gold World Order says 2009 was when I joined Facebook. Me too. Uh, Brad says, why destroy something that you build, especially if it's working? Or why destroy something that some things are being destroyed these days that have no reason to be destroyed at all. And I try to bite my tongue about this stuff. It is hard. I mean, I'll be honest. Like I don't know personally. I try to keep a positive, upbeat, attitude, and come on here, and that's why you join me on Saturday. You want to hear that. You don't want to hear, But it is tough. I don't know what I'm going to do. I will be losing my job, my federal job in my retirement. I'm going to lose everything come next month. So, I try to keep a positive outlook on things. It's not easy, And so if you're going through something like that, you're not the only one. There's a lot of us who are, we're facing some hard times, and it's not easy. That's why I like to keep this thing on the side, the ChillerNight stuff. Something to at least get my mind away and play for a little bit, because you cannot go through the week, or even your life, your week, your days, with the burden of all the seriousness and the and all the lunacy and the big clown show that goes on every day. You can't. That's not meant for one individual's shoulders, mentally to carry around. So get out, get away from the TV, get off social media for a little bit, go out and go for a walk, or make a ChillerNight theater episode. Do something positive. You have to do something positive, and by all means, get together and talk with each other. Don't stay isolated. That will drive you crazy. So, let me try to get caught up on. Raymond says, Brian, is this a date site? Yeah, you know what's funny about that? Halloween and horror, haunted houses, that does bring people together. It does. It brought Ava and I together. That's where we met, is in a haunted house. And it's funny because I've seen couples meet in my haunted houses, or if you have an interest in horror. And maybe you join a group or something, or you have some friends that you're watching a movie with, and that other someone comes in and joins you, and you hit it off. There's a connection there because of you love Halloween, you love horror, you love haunted houses. So, but this site specifically, um, Bonehead says, Miss Glamfangs, you are definitely a very sweet spider with a kind heart. Thanks. Lisa Ann says, does anyone follow AHS this year? American Horror Story. I have not. I have not seen that for years, to be honest with you, Lisa Ann. Brian says, and the new meta will lean towards VR. Oh, is that right? Virtual reality, I take it? That's strange. I'm a little leery of that stuff, to be honest with you. Let's see. Let me try to catch up here. I see we got some trolls on here. We'll block them. Okay. Now, making sure. gotta be guarded on this stuff anymore. Just like YouTube, I get trolls on there recently popping up, just full of hate. It's like, I don't know, jeez. Some people lighten up a little bit. Okay, tonight at 9, ChillerNight Theater, our brand new, I tell you, Halloween episode, The Brainiac. Okay, 11 p.m. Chiller Chat. My guest is Brian Seach. Now, this is the one we just did Tuesday night. This is part 1. And I may have to make, now that we have the video capability, quite honestly, I may have to make Chiller Chat. I'm very seriously considering making it into an hour episode because it's so easy now to go an hour. To go an hour is just a little too easy right now. And so coming up in 2022, we might see a reshuffling of this schedule, and I'll give it a lot of thought, and I'll see what appears to be best for the ChillerNight programming, and maybe we can get it to where there's not so many gaps in between some of this programming. 11:30 ChillerNight Theater. The movie is City of the Dead. 1:30 a.m. Chiller Chat. My guest is the Eerie Voices Paranormal Society, and that is part 2 of that 2-part episode. 2 a.m. ChillerNight Theater. The movie is Terror Creatures from the Grave. All right, so. All right, did we get that guy? I think we did. Guy or girl, whoever. Okay. Tom said it's just the parent company changing their name. Their products will remain unchanged, like Facebook, Instagram, etc. Oh, okay. So what you're saying is Facebook will remain Facebook. It's called Facebook, like WWE. It's not owned by. It's Titan. That's the name of the company that owns WWE. So is that what you're saying? Meta will own Instagram and Facebook. If that's what you're saying, then that doesn't sound so drastic, I suppose. Bonehead says, "Hey, who's putting these ads on for girls here? What's going on?" I know we get these people to jump on there and these trolls, these spammers or whatever. I blocked them, so hopefully we're blocked here. Block users on YouTube. Block you. We'll see if that works. Lisa Ann says, Jack's Castle is cool. Does it have central heating? No, it does not. It has central chilling. Ah, that was kind of clever, right from the hip. Let's see. Tom says spammer. Yes. Brian says it is pages like ChillerNight that make it better. Well, thank you. Mr. Tracy says blue leaves off driveway with lawnmower. All right. That's something that's often needed this time of the year. But it says, okay, thanks, Tom. I was wondering if it with only me seeing them ads for webcam girls. Right. I was seeing them. I was like, there's an option for me to go in and block that YouTube user. So that's what I was trying to do as I was talking to you guys. Raymond says, when teenage girls are harmed by Facebook, Zuckerberg has to show a new face of the company. Yeah, yeah. Wow, that's something, isn't it? That's a that's a rabbit hole in and of itself. Brad says Facebook is right now where your friends only see your comments and pictures. Twitter, you post something with comments and pictures. Those tweets go straight out all over the world. Facebook, soon Meta, wants to become more like that. Oh, is that it? I knew nothing about that. I really didn't. I didn't know that's how it worked. All right. Bonin says, good evening, Roger. Happy Halloween. Welcome to the ChillerNight crew. Yes, welcome. Glam says, is Jack Shadow moonlighting as Cupid now? I don't know. Sometimes I just don't know. Lisa Ann says, it wasn't that great this year, American Horror Story. So I've been watching old ones. Okay, all right. Goldrold says, send those trolls back to whatever bridge they came from under. Yes, that's good advice. Let's see. Tom says, parent company of Google isn't Google anymore. It's Alphabet. Is that right? I don't know anything about that. Is that right? Tom says the same thing. Okay. Mr. Al says, or Mr. Tracy says, all wrapped up mummy. Okay. Mummies are all wrapped up, aren't they? Lisa Ann says, Jack doesn't need heat. No, he doesn't. He needs that chilly air. I think he prefers that dead cold. Bonehead says, thanks for banishing those trolls, Brian. We got a family-friendly show here. The only girls we want to hear from are our very own dynamic duo, Miss Glam Fangs and Miss Diane and Silvio. I do try to keep it family-friendly as much as I can. Yeah, sometimes people, I've only recently been seeing that, though, the last couple of weeks. And then if you go on the YouTube, I don't even respond. I don't take them off. I leave them up there, but people are just I've got some very ignorant, hateful comments here recently, and I can only imagine it's spam or these trolls, because I can't imagine anybody being stupid enough to really, if you hate something that bad, you're really gonna stick around and watch more. You're gonna watch more episodes. Well, I hate this one even worse. I'll tell you about it. It's like, so I can't imagine. I don't take them seriously. I can only imagine somebody's got way too much time on their hands, and I don't know. Strange. Mr. Tracy said, good ghouls go bad. And Bonehead says, good one there, Mr. Williamson. Yes. So, all that said, hopefully, now you're saying that it doesn't appear as though there'll be, or at least that we know of, other than there'll be more virtual reality. I'm not sure how that works. I'm barely trying to keep up with what I just now got the video thing with Tom's help, and and Zoom, and then Chad with Skype figured out for being able to have a guest here on video, and that wasn't an overnight thing at all. That was my way with a lot of help, muddling my way through it. So I have no idea now what virtual reality. I'm just figuring out simple things yet. But I tell you what, if it's something that can improve this, I don't know. I don't even know what that means, to be honest with you. What's that mean, the virtual? I mean, I understand the concept of virtual reality. I get that, but how would that be utilized in a social media platform? That's like I don't know. I don't know what that means in that regards. I guess we'll find out. Lisa Corn says, just jumping in here, I propose that for next week's show, we all send Brian and Ava's pics of our jack-o'-lanterns. I'll have mine brightly lit very soon. That's a great idea. If you do that, you can send them either to ChillerNightTheater@outlook.com. That's the email for Chiller Night Theater. Or you can send them to me or Chiller Night Theater on Facebook. I can receive those images obviously through Messenger, just as easy as email. So yeah, send them. I'll put them up. If you send them, I'll put them up there. Mr. Tracy, Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. Okay. That's a good one. With Glenn Strange as the monster, Lon Chaney Jr. reprising his role as Larry Talbot, the Wolf Man, and what's really cool is we get to see Bela Lugosi again as Count Dracula in that Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. So pretty neat. All right, bonus says that explains them ads quite well. Very witty and appropriate, Mr. Tracy. Brad says, who is watching the Penn State at Ohio State college football game right now? I'm not. Me. Michelle is giving a little hat and cane dancing skeleton guy there. Michelle, thanks for joining us. Lisa Ann says, let's talk movies or Halloween. I think that's a good idea. What do you guys, it's Halloween. I mean, it's the night before Halloween, literally. So if you have anything you'd like to share, or maybe some old traditions you used to do, or favorite costume, a favorite Halloween you have that stood out as a kid, do tell. If you have a favorite movie, I'll tell you, somebody wanted me to give a list of my favorite, like, let's say 10, 50 movies. Several weeks ago, we were trying to think of ideas for tonight's episode. Now, I just wouldn't have had time to really compile that kind of a list. But I will say, my top three are, for Halloween, The Bride of Frankenstein, Curse of the Werewolf, and Halloween Part 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. But some great horror movies that they're not great continuously, like to keep watching them, but I know ones that really stood out. It was around this time back in 99, I think it was 99, when I first saw the Blair Witch Project, and I love that movie. That's a one and done type of thing. You can't relive that experience, and watching it again. But that first time watching it, wow, that was just, I was so pulled into it. That was so great. So there's a neat one. I can't just say anything from Hammer or Universal, because I think that's just throwing a blanket over the topic. But I will say that some of my favorites are, like I said, the ones that I mentioned there: Bride of Frankenstein, Curse of the Werewolf. Those my top Universal and Hammer horror, and then Michael Myers, with the Halloween movies. So, and I also like my mind totally just went blank right now. It really did. I drew a complete blank, like everything just shut down. Prince of Darkness, that's it. John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness. So, it got back. That's a neat one. I think that's a really fun one to watch around Halloween. And I will say the original Frankenstein, I love watching the original Frankenstein. So, let's see. The Great Pumpkin, Mr. Tracy says. Of course. We have to mention The Great Pumpkin. It's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Let's see. Bonus says, where are you checking in from tonight, Lasercorn, if you don't mind me asking? Let's see if Lasercorn answers. Is the answer? I don't see an answer, but maybe I missed it. in my quick glance. Lisa Ann says, okay, try this as worst movies. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Okay. Now, so we are, okay, there's horror and science fiction maybe. If you're asking me for my worst, like, it's not a chiller, but my probably the worst movie that one of the worst I've ever seen was The Last Jedi. Um, I have to mention that. Um, if you're talking about worst movies, that's right up there. Lasercorn says, Happy Halloween to all of you, and to you too, Lasercorn. Brad says, oh, here's another one I really enjoy watching, and I think it's an underrated movie. I really do. It's Night of the Living Dead, the 1990 version. Of course, we all love the original Night of the Living Dead, but the 1990, have you seen that? If you haven't seen it, I strongly recommend that you watch it. It was directed by Tom Savini, and George Romero had asked Tom to do this, so it was not just somebody going off and making their own version. It was with George Romero's request and blessing. And Tom did a fantastic job with that movie. I love watching that movie. I think it's a fun one to watch. So if you get a chance, check out Tom Savini's 1990 Night of the Living Dead. So when I had Tom on my show, it was years ago, back when I was first starting this, he said, well, why don't you play mine? And I said, I would love to. I would absolutely love to. But I don't have the rights to do that. I would love to play that movie. If I could ever land that movie to play, that'd be great. Bonehead says, Miss Diana, have you or anyone on here ever eaten pumpkin roll desserts? Oh, I have. I love those things. Ava and I both love those. Brad says, I've been watching Halloween TV shows on Peacock. It's awesome. Look at that. It's 8:52. Coming up. We will be having a chiller chat this Tuesday, by the way. I don't know who I'll have on there yet, but we will be having one this Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, just like you're watching here now. And then I'll put that schedule up here in just a couple minutes. Probably about 5 till. Joe Expo says, best 2 scary YouTube videos. Saudi. Oh, well, you mentioned these last week. If these are the same ones. Saudi Arabian police meet witch and Ghost in the Office. Both are great for Halloween. Okay, there you have it. There's the title of these videos on YouTube. Somebody check them out. I will if I get a chance. I never seem to follow up on these too well. Lisa Ann says decorations are awesome. Terrence says if anyone is into anime, you should really check out the anime cell Perfect Blue. It's really a spine-tingling thriller. Perfect Blue. What's that on? Because that sounds really familiar. Perfect Blue. Is it on Netflix or something? Mr. Tracy. Lon Chaney Werewolf. Oh my gosh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put my monsters up here tonight. Ah, of all nights! Yeah, this reminded me of that, the werewolf. Oh, Terrence says Perfect Blue is available on YouTube. Okay, well there you go if you guys want to check out Perfect Blue. Bonus says, your mind went blank, Brian. Welcome to my world, LOL. Brad says, have you been watching Chucky and Day of the Dead series yet, Brian? I have not. Hey, but you just maybe, not yet. I do plan to, but you reminded me of something with the word series. That made me think of Resident Evil. Sometimes my mind goes very quick and I can't keep up, and sometimes, just sometimes, my mind goes like cold syrup through a straw, but not in this case. This case, I went to Resident Evil series, and then that went shot over here to the new Resident Evil movie coming out. And it looks really cool because if you look at the new trailer, Resident Evil, I forget the name, the subtitle of it, but it's to come out. It hasn't come out yet. It's brand new. look on YouTube for the trailer. It's really cool because if you remember that first game, the very first Resident Evil game that came out, this is them going to that old mansion that's in the first game, and it looks really cool. A lot of the scenes are the same, especially the one where the zombie, like in the game, it's a pretty well, I think it's the cover of the game actually, when the zombie's face is turning around, and they recreate that scene in the trailer. I just think it's cool, and I would love to see that movie. I think it sounds like a neat movie because those zombies, I hope they keep them like in the game, and I hope they don't have the running 28 days later type of zombies. I just love the old Romero Night of the Living Dead, Walking Dead style zombies. To me, they're much more creepier and scarier. It's 8:56. Let me put the schedule back up real quick, and then we'll jump back on these chats. Okay, at 9 o'clock, in just a few minutes for our special Halloween episode. Brand new episode tonight. 9 p.m. Chiller Night Theater, Jack Shadow presents The Brainiac. Okay, and 11 p.m. Chiller Chat. My guest is Brian Seach. This is part 1 of the episode that we did earlier this week on the 26th. 11:30 Chiller Night Theater. The movie is City of the Dead. 1:30 a.m. Chiller Chat. My guest is the Eerie Voices Paranormal Society. And that's part 2 of that 2-part episode. 2 a.m. Chiller Night Theater. The movie is Terror Creatures from the Grave. So there, you have it there. Mr. Tracy, The Thing, James Arnaz. Yeah. Cool World Order mentioned that. What was it, last week, that James Arnaz... I'm sure I knew that at one point, but I had forgotten that. But it makes sense. The very large man playing the monster for that movie. So we were comparing we were doing some, or at least I was, and some of you were hopping in there, the horror and westerns. I thought that was cool, but yeah, that's neat. Let's see. John says, for something on the funnier side of Halloween, there's Spaced Invaders. Okay, I've not seen that. I think I've seen, I've known of it, but I haven't seen it. Lasercorn says, oh, before I forget, your metal mission for tonight. We haven't had one of those for a while. Okay, Lasercorn. Gary Joe's version of Frankenstein by Edgar Winter Group. This one's mandatory. Oh, don't get me going on mandatory anything. So tune in and make it loud. All right, well, there you go. There's your metal mission for tonight. Okay. And Lasercorn says, no, I meant Gary Hoey. Hoey? Instead of Gary Joey's. Okay. Joe Exposed says, do you mean Return of the Living Dead? No. Nope. Although that's a neat one. I'm at the 1990 Night of the Living Dead. Check it out. In 1990, because that one was, in 1984, Return of the Living Dead, but I believe so. But yeah, check out Night of the Living Dead. It's in Keller, of course, 1990. But Tom Savini, it's just a really fun movie to watch. I think it's really well done. Lisa Ann says, eating brains grosses me out. Yeah, now there you'll see that on Return of the Living Dead. Return of the Living Dead is the funniest horror movie you can watch. It in Creepshow. Yeah, I agree. I love watching that. Raymond says, and then we gotta put a cap on it. Raymond says, Brian, I love the idea behind the Blair Witch Project, but the foul language was over the top. That was hard. Yeah. It was just constant, every other word. I would expect you of MD students to know better, more complex adjectives. Oh, yeah, you would think. Yeah, they were educated enough. Okay, John says, this has been Chiller Night Pre-Show with Brian Hogue. This is Crozak the Grand reminding you that that creepy crawling thing out there is only a figment of your imagination. And if you hear a knock on your door and there's no one there, It's not a ghost or monster. It's Halloween. Stay chilled and keep thrilled until next Saturday night. Well, thank you, Crozak the Grand and John. So, thank you so much, everybody. Bonus as well. I hope the ChillerNight crew, Brian and Ava, and all the little ghouls and goblins have a safe and happy, fun Halloween. Next week, hopefully, we can all hear about how Halloween went. Yeah, and send your pictures of the pumpkins. Okay, folks, it's 9 o'clock. I gotta get going and watch the Halloween special. So, see you next week. Have a good night. Have a good chiller night. I gotta throw that in there. See you next week.